are you? And oh my goodness, we keep talking about platforms and AI, and now things have been turned upside down in 5 seconds. And the thing is DeepSeek. That's come out of nowhere. I had a podcast on this Monday, and then on Wednesday, I'm hearing everyone talking about it. Why DeepSeek? First, explain what DeepSeek
Yes.
is, and we'll go from there.
Yes. So DeepSeek is actually a side project of a quant company in China, which is a development company that are doing very high level mathematics developments. And it's very funny because this is not the first time that DeepSeek releases a model. We've been using other models from DeepSeek before. Even me, I was able to download them, but I think this time they cracked through a new methodology that allowed them to outperform the US companies that receive billions and billions of dollars in investment and that spend $1 billion to train one model. They trained a similar model for $5 million. And the equivalent, some of the major companies, they would spend anything between up to $100 million to train one version of their model. So that's what the people are saying in the statistics is that they're achieving similar results with 10 times less resources. But it has to be taken with a grain of salt, Neil, because they were the main difference is that they were able to remove the human intervention from their training apparatus in the training methodology. So of course, if you remove the human workload, and in the US or Europe, the average hour is paid at, I don't know, $20, 20 euro, 30 euro. That's a big chunk of cost that you remove from the training. So that's why it is a sensational news, 10x cheaper, 10x faster, but it's the methodology that really changed. And then there are different things that you can look at. And for me, I experimented hands-on. What is this DeepSeek R1? So R1 is the new model that everybody talks about. So I installed it on my computer and I've been running it. And I compared it to Llama 3.3, the model that Facebook Meta released just, I think, 1
That's
month
what your
or.
company does to design using Llama
We
3.3.
use Llama, we love Llama. So we use Llama 3.2, Llama 3.3. So I took a similar download file size from Llama 3.3, which is a 70 billion parameter model, which is huge. And I for the same size, I got a 32 billion model from DeepSeek. And then I interact with it as a user like you and me. And the difference is quite astonishing. There are two differences. So I have it here in front of me. I don't know if we can share my screen, or maybe I can just walk you through.
Well, just walk us through it. That'll be best.
Yeah, so I asked the same question to DeepSeek R1 32 billion model. And then I asked it the same for Llama 3.3 70 billion model. And the question was, what is the distance between Earth and the Moon? So DeepSeek R1 not only answered like 4 times faster or almost 5 times faster in like 10 seconds, 12 seconds, it answered. Let's say 15 seconds, the time that it formed the answer. But not only it answered in 15 seconds instead of 1 minute for Llama 3.3, it walked me through the thought process that the model went through. So it said, oh, wait, the distance between the Earth and the Moon changes depending on the month and so on. So I need to calculate an average. So it walks you through the thinking just like a human would do. And I think that is a very big difference because when you use ChatGPT or Claude, they don't tell you, you don't see how the model thinks. So you don't understand what steps it's taking so that you can enhance your prompt. So from a user perspective, it is already 5 times faster and so much more revealing and so much more insightful into how it works inside. Now I don't think it's a bad thing, DeepSeek, that happened because a lot of people are talking it erased $1 trillion of valuation in the stock markets, and Nvidia and all the other chip makers, and they lost some value. But I think it will come back. I think what this is going to bring us is it's like a slap, an optimization slap to the big player to tell them, guys, you've been sleeping on your resources. You have so much more resources. You're not using it in the most efficient possible way. This is how DeepSeek did it. And they shared, in open source, their methodologies. So right now, Hugging Face in the US with their cluster, they're reproducing the technique used by DeepSeek to either confirm or infirm what DeepSeek is advancing and sharing with the world.
It's just absolutely fascinating. So it's better than Llama 3.3 then.
Even with, yeah, I mean, we can't say much right now, but because data is coming up and it looks like very emotional, but I'm telling you as a user, I take the DeepSeek file that is the same size as Llama 3.3, it outperforms it immediately right now on my computer.
Okay, so what about ChatGPT 4? Oh, does it outperform that?
I think it's outperforming ChatGPT 4.01. I think that was the target model that they were balancing to. But of course, OpenAI, they have other advantages under their sleeves and stuff. But it's really, the hype is not all made up. The hype has a big parameter that is real. This model is very efficient. So it is very efficient from my perspective as a user in what we call the inference. Inference is when you use the model. Like when you prompt ChatGPT, the process is called inference. The AI model is going to reply you how fast it is to understand your query and build the answer and reply you. That is inference. So at the inference level, DeepSeek R1 is phenomenal. For the size of the model and the number of parameters, I can see it as a basic user. It is phenomenal. Now, how they achieved it, and is it true that they trained it on such little resources and so on? This is still being debated, but the efficiency at the user level is there.
Wow, this is just really impressive, and you'll be testing with ChatGPT. But is this going to change you using Llama 3.3 if this is such a better model for your clients?
Not really, because so personally, I'm already using DeepSeek R1 for reasoning tasks. But it's not as good as Llama 3.3 instruct models, because right now the way that this first version of DeepSeek R1 was released, and they have so many versions, it is more chatty. It is very good in chatting and explaining to you the reasoning. But when you come, with APIs and programming and stuff, you want a fast answer that is precise. So there, I still use Llama 3.2 or Llama 3.3.
Just very intriguing information for sure. So if I decide to just download this, it's going to be open source. Explain.
It is open source. Yeah.
Explain.
So open source, that means that they openly release the source code of the model. Not only how they built it, but also it's a cooperative project where other scientific or technician or R&D departments can take this model and build upon it. So Llama 3.3 is also very much open source because Meta wanted to make it open. So open source is not a unique feature of DeepSeek, but it is an important one. It means that it's open.
Okay, so open source, but you download it and on your computer, you don't.
Yeah, and you don't have to pay. Yeah, you don't have to pay anything. It's super fast.
Saver. It's a big money saver.
It's a huge money saver. Yeah.
So, but the difference is that using Facebook's Llama 3. That doesn't give you the ability to the open source model that you use in development. Correct?
No. Llama 3.2 and 3.3, they are open source. They have the same accessibility than DeepSeek. Okay. I think the point that people confuse is that DeepSeek, they published their weights. So the weights are the measure of importance that you give to the input that comes from the human or the input that comes in the prompt. So that usually like Claude and ChatGPT and OpenAI, they will not tell you how they configure the weights, but the DeepSeek team, they openly publish it for some of their models to tell us how much importance they give to the input parameter. But I think we will see clearly, there is this, it's called OpenR1, I think, an initiative from Hugging Face. They took on themselves to use their cluster of GPUs to reproduce DeepSeek in an open way and confirm if indeed this Chinese lab are right in terms of methodology and this new approach to training model, is it actually valid? So probably in 2-3 weeks, we will have some more confirmations as to the validity of this new methodology.
So what do you think people should do with DeepSeek? Try it, test it out?
You should try it. Definitely. Yeah, you have so much power for free. And even if you use the online models like ChatGPT, for example, I saw some people doing the same queries they were doing with ChatGPT that cost them $1,000. They're doing it with the equivalent API with DeepSeek. From $1,000, it cost them $100.
So you still have to pay DeepSeek.
The online model, when you don't want to host it yourself, when you want if you want to query the big model that is needs so much GPUs, I download a smaller version of DeepSeek that can fit on my graphic card. And I can already see the huge benefit of it, even if it's like a small miniature model that I'm using.
You're thinking more development than some of the other things you do, right? You're thinking about how you're designing things and stuff using
Yeah.
it. So
Yes.
give me an example of what you would do with DeepSeek as a company.
So I will use DeepSeek for, if you take it from a marketing perspective, I think it's very good at recognizing human intent. So for example, if we scrape some social media messages or some blogs, and you just want to know what is the intention of the writer and give me and classify it for me among, or what is the intention of this person? Do they want to buy a certain specific service? Are they selling something? So I would use it a lot because it replies faster and virtually free compared to using ChatGPT.
Wow. So this is where, that instruction of Artilla comes into play.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck? People are just
Yeah.
not, what percentage of the world do you think really isn't knows AI like you're talking about? Like we're talking, a lot of people use AI for marketing, they use it for ideas, they use it to build business plans, write documents, do all these different things, but they're not using it in the way that certain people are that are developing products.
You're
That's
right.
the
Yeah.
big thing of DeepSeek and Llama and potentially part of ChatGPT is the amount of bandwidth it needs to create those types of things. So you're throwing
Yes.
lots of code in and then having them write new code, right? Is
That's
that
right.
pretty much
Yeah. Yeah. We use it. We use a lot this local LLM. So for us at Artila, we look at how can we bring automation with our tool and bundle it with the most cost-efficient AI infrastructure that a company can run without limiting their imagination and their potential because of the cost of the AI. So that's why we invest so much in using local LLMs or using the most efficient ChatGPT version, the most efficient Claude version. That's how we look at it, Neil, is that how can I get the best of this AI stuff that is out there?
right?
How you say in English, in American method, the best for the buck, the best bang for the buck?
Bang for a buck. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
So,
that's what
so,
we are
so,
looking
so,
at.
so basically, if you want to make money on AI today, you need to learn all these models and you need to build stuff. You need to test things
Yeah,
out, create things. So, for example, I
exactly.
found one of the best ever phone bots I ever had in my life ordering a pizza from a company called Jet's Pizza.
Uh-huh.
And they took the entire order for me, no mistakes, way better than any other customer service rep does. When do you start to seeing more and more companies adopting that?
I think that will become more and more common, and this is also one of the new features that OpenAI and ChatGPT are bringing as well. Is that now they integrate with agents so that they can actually make tasks in the browser on your behalf, order a flight ticket, order a pizza. So I would say there are two lanes of development. There is the personal use development, like you and me. This is going to progress very fast in helping us save time. Book for me a Mexican restaurant, you know where I live, for 8 p.m. today. I need to go to Chicago. Book me the best price flight in the next 3 days. I think that we were going to have a lot of big improvement that will make our life easier. Now there is the second lane, which is like how can you multiply this and use it in an agency mode as a professional, like for you? Like, I want now to take this AI capacity and do it for 100 clients. That is not yet available. That will take time for that kind of feature to become reproducible in parallel for many clients at the same time, like an
Well, how do you think
industrial
that pizza
professional level.
company, which is the only one I've seen, created that
Mhm.
chatbot? Do you think they just created it themselves through using one AI
Yeah,
model?
possibly they possibly fine-tuned an existing version of any of the big guys. They potentially maybe even are using the old version of DeepSeek that was released like 2 months ago. I don't know, but what is interesting is that a pizza company can achieve that. That is in itself fantastic.
Right, because that's going to make life more efficient,
Yeah,
especially when you get on the first automated call with Verizon or AT&T. If you could really answer the questions and have a conversation with that first ongoing person on the
yeah.
phone, then the customer service rep is going to be there when they're really needed.
Exactly. Now what DeepSeek is going to bring at that level, Neil, is that you see the number of companies or businesses or people who can fine tune their own model is very limited today. You have to have big graphic cards like our team. Even we are considered not a big team, but I have about 300 gigabytes of GPU RAM in our little infrastructure, which is already a lot, but it's splitted. So what DeepSeek is bringing is that you may be able, more people will be able to fine tune their model to do a specific thing for their business with just a small graphic card, like a gamer graphic card. And I'm waiting for that moment because then you can build your own fine tune AI model that will do your services and will answer your clients in your methodology and your style.
All right. Best place to find
Yeah.
info on you. Great stuff. We did go deeper into this because I want to know what's all DeepSeek about. I'm going to find out more stuff by testing it myself, see if I'm
Yes.
ready to leave ChatGPT. Honestly, I don't mind paying the money I'm paying for it. I love ChatGPT, but I'm interested in what will DeepSeek be that makes me want to move over to DeepSeek.
Yeah.
And
No, but
it
look
all
at this,
depends.
Neil. Let's not move over or move from. I think it's very beneficial to keep two, three AI models in your arsenal because each one is performing very well at one level. Here, when you want to save costs, here, when you want convenience. So I always pay and keep Claude 3.5, ChatGPT, and all the local AI models. We're using them every day
All right.
in parallel.
All right. So Artila.com, that's simple.
Yes.
Artila.com. And check out Mohammed in different social media platforms. I'm tagging him live right now on Facebook. Make sure you guys connect with him and appreciate it. Mohammed, we'll talk soon.
Thank you.